Hey, what's going on, guys? The Horror Man back on Monthly Theme Thursday with my review of Night Owl. As announced last week, this month's theme is black and white horror, and Night Owl is a 1993 black and white vampire film. Despite being released in 1993, however, the film is set in 1984, when the script was originally written. The movie was filmed over the course of 2.5 years and stars a young John Leguizamo, and even has an appearance by Carolyn Monroe. Her interview scene in Night Owl was specifically shot for the film. In it, she discusses her experience while working on Hammer Productions. She also talks about starring in a Meatloaf music video, which I thought was cool, since I'm a big fan of Meatloaf. Now, before I give a synopsis, I want to point out, this here is the original VHS release of Night Owl, which I think is pretty awesome. This isn't the most readily available VHS tape, and to buy one online, it'll cost a decent amount. I love that this independent release represents the film itself, because it was made on what I guess you could call a shoestring budget. But honestly, it just adds to the aesthetic for me, and I love the aesthetic of this movie. Obviously, it was shot in black and white, hence why I'm reviewing it for our black and white theme. It reminds me a bit of Clerks in that sense, which was released a year later. Night Owl was filmed on location in Times Square, and the Manhattan setting is grungy and raw. I love it. It's about a leather jacket-clad guy named Jake who picks up women at the local bar. He brings them back to his apartment, which apparently was shot in the basement of an abandoned funeral home, and then he, has sex with them. Oh yeah, and Jake's a vampire. So he also sucks their blood and then chops them up with a cleaver so that they don't come back as the living dead, like him. But then Jake meets a girl named Anne, who he starts to genuinely care about. Although he thirsts for her blood, he can't bring himself to kill her. Meanwhile, John Leguizamo plays a guy named Angel, who searches the city for his missing sister. Of course, we as the viewers know what happened to her. She was one of Jake's victims early in the movie. Along with the awesome aesthetic and New York City landscape that I love so much, Night Owl has a decent story for a vampire film. It's simple, but considering the budget, it works. Vampire movies are not my go-to subgenre of horror, but I do like this one. The kills are pretty brutal, and as Variety is quoted on the cover here, there is intense sex in Night Owl. That means we do get nudity, including full frontal, and it's definitely worth noting this movie takes place on and around Halloween. There is a scene of Anne carving a jack-o'-lantern in Jake's apartment. We later see that jack-o'-lantern lit up, which looks really cool in the black and white. There are Halloween decorations, and we even get to see an awesome Halloween parade toward the end of the movie. There is an emphasis on realism that I really liked. This might sound silly, but here's an example. After one of the sex scenes, Anne is still lying in bed with Jake. She is still exposing some nudity, and unlike most other films, she's not so quick to grab the sheet and cover up. That always sort of irks me, if I'm being honest, when that happens in other movies. I mean, after what you just did, now you want to cover up? That's just not how it goes in real life. So, like I said, Night Owl offers some realism that I appreciate. Yul Vasquez has a minor role. I recognized him from The Sopranos and Seinfeld. The music in the film I found fitting. There is also some beat poetry that adds a nice timestamp. Night Owl has an approximate runtime of just 77 minutes, so it's not long at all. By the way, while the title is officially spelled like this, it was also released as NITE OWL in Canada. There is also a DVD release that features that spelling. Speaking of the film's release in other countries, apparently Night Owl was very well received in Rome, Italy. I thought that was interesting. And for those unaware, Vinegar Syndrome actually released this on Blu-ray. I gotta say, I love my VHS though. Have you seen Night Owl? If so, what do you think of it? Comment below and let me know. Don't forget to check out Jason's video to see what he reviews for Monthly Theme Thursday. What will I review next for Monthly Theme Thursday? Check back next week as we continue watching black and white horror. Until then though, remember, physical media matters. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit that thumbs up and, be kind, subscribe.